Hey everyone, it's the Cinema Dude, and welcome back to my channel. And this week's video takes us back into the movie room, where we're going to discuss this week why I collect. Especially now that it is 2020, why do I collect now? Some tips on collecting, and how I got started. So let's kind of go back. We're gonna go back to the past and how I got started collecting my movies. So, I had the occasional VHS here or there when I was a kid. Nothing too crazy. My first DVD was Stargate. I know, for being a Star Wars fan, yes, it was Stargate. And then I got like the Star Wars set, and then the Indiana Jones set, and kind of moved from there. And my original kind of collection, when I like had stuff, but really wasn't going to where it is now, was a lot of comedies, a lot of sports movies, and then the occasional like action movie that I would like, or the occasional science fiction movie like Star Wars, or some of the superhero movies that I was getting into. But then that kind of all changed. I met my girlfriend, and we started. She likes horror, and it kind of grew on me. I would, like I've said before, I would occasionally watch a horror movie here or there, but it wasn't like anything big. And then my love of the genre just exploded, and with that, my collecting kind of did too. Definitely went into a lot more, of this kind of stuff, and that's when I started learning about the different kind of boutique labels, the Scream Factories, and all these kind of different the Arrows and things like that. On top of that as well, her uncle was kind of a big movie buff, and he had a huge collection. And as he was kind of getting later in his life, and when I was getting to the point where he was getting a little sicker and sicker, he put in saying, Joe, I want you to have these. He saw my love of movies and my growing love of movies, and he said, that's who I want to have these. So when he did unfortunately pass away, I got his collection, which was 5,000 movies there. And that's all in like the CD cases that I've shown in past ones. So now I'm working through those slowly but surely to put those into like the CD binders and stuff. But with that, like I said, then it kind of grew more, and then getting different, oh, well, I don't have, this genre, or I don't have this, or, and really the YouTube community itself and Instagram community really kind of expanded, my, my collection. I think a good and bad thing about YouTube and Instagram is you see other people's collections, you're like, that's cool, or oh, that's awesome, like I want that one, or oh, I've never seen that release, and you get more and more and more, and you start getting, oh, I want this, or you recommend it to a friend, and hey, you have to see this movie, or so now we've gotten kind of to almost today, and I feel like now I'm doing my collection more as like a library. I think the coolest thing, I think, for me is, especially in our house now, is people come into this room, and and it's a small bedroom. That's where kind of I've put my stuff in. But people walk in and they're like, "Oh my god! Like, this is awesome!" Like, that excitement that people have, I love that. I love being able to see their expression, and sometimes they're like, "Whoa, there's a lot of movies," and you're like, "Okay, do they think I'm like some nutcase or something like that?" But for me, it's that kind of excitement, and I think part of it now is, yes, it's getting these different releases, and Vinegar Syndrome's putting out this like obscure horror movie, or things like that. But now for me, I feel like I've gotten to a point where it's more of like, I want to get stuff to have different genres, so people can come over, and when it gets more safe, COVID-wise and stuff like that, is have people over and say, hey, look at these cool movies, or look at this. And recently I've been getting kind of back into the VHS, kind of game, and my girlfriend says, well, why? And I'm like, well, part of it is there's still releases that are not on disc. And people might say, well, that's stupid because eventually it might. Well, it probably will. But at the same time, too, it might not. Something so obscure or so, so localized, let's just say. Like, I know there is, I have a VHS that is about, like, homes in my community. That's never going to come to a DVD or Blu-ray release. Never. There's one that's about an ice storm that happened here in the 90s. That's never going to. So those kind of things are worth saving. And, yeah, might I touch it once every 3 years? Yes. But it's just kind of a cool artifact to have to show people, like, hey, like, there's all these cool movies that might not be on release. And, people always say, well, everything's on streaming and everything's on this. But it's not. And, that, I feel like for us in the collecting community, we understand that. We understand that, people will say that all the time. Well, you can get that on Netflix. You can. You're not going to go to Netflix, open up, and see, Memorial Valley Massacre. You're not going to see that there. You're going to see what they have programmed or what Hulu has programmed or what Disney Plus has programmed. But you're not going to see this kind of stuff. So that's why, at least for me now as well, I've gotten more to these boutique labels. I really don't buy a new release of something, of a mainstream thing, unless it's like a Marvel, like an MCU movie. Or it was a new Star Wars movie. Something that I know that, hey, I like that stuff. I'm going to get that. Just because, like, I'm sorry, like, you're the next, Kevin Hart movie or, the next movie that's going to have The Rock or whatever in it. That stuff is going to show up on these platforms. But something, like you said, like a Ultimate Edition of Beastmaster or... this Blood Island trilogy set, actually the collection's on that trilogy, excuse me. That stuff you're not going to find there, and that's the stuff I'm going for. And that kind of goes to my second point of collecting in 2021. I do it how I do it, like I've said. It's more of I'm getting the boutique stuff or I'm getting obscure stuff that I know doesn't have a release, I think that's one of the cool things is going online. And again, this is also, too, where I've kind of run to an issue lately, too, is at one point is enough. I'm kind of having a little bit of that kind of crisis of collecting is when is enough. Like I'll see something on eBay and I'm like, oh, that's really cool and I want that, but do I need it? That's the hard thing recently for me is, do I need it? What is it really going to sit there? Will it, become it? There's one, I'll take an example for VHS that is VHS called The Cellar. It's like kind of a rare, kind of obscure, I believe it's like late 80s, early 90s horror film. Something like, oh, I've seen it recently. But Vinegar Syndrome might be putting it out. So, it's not worth it. So why get it, but there's some stuff that like is like really cool and it's just like, well, do I need it? So it's very hard, especially now too. And I feel like a lot of people, just because with the current climate and things like that, people being out of jobs and things like that, your money might be tight. So you gotta figure out what you want to spend on and what you can spend on without, breaking the bank. And I think this will kind of go into kind of some tips. I always say, go with what you love. If you love zombie movies and you want to just collect zombie movies, go ahead, collect zombie movies. If you're a person that loves animation, go ahead. Maybe you love Disney and you want to collect the whole thing of the Disney treasures. It's going to be expensive, but that's what you want to do. Maybe you're like me, you want to have like a library so people can be like, oh, this is kind of cool. I think the second thing is and I've really, and this one again, like I've said, really kind of hits home recently, is know your limit. I think for me, when is, like I said, when is enough enough? When is, okay, I'm gonna set us, this amount per month. Okay, I'm gonna set $10. Okay, so that might get you one movie a month. But hey, you know what? You got a new movie a month. Or, I'm gonna set, $50 limit. Or hey, I'm only gonna save up for this set and stuff. And and that is hard in the sense of when you are following some of these boutique labels, because you don't know what they're gonna put month to month. So, you might be planning for something and Criterion puts out a sweet release of, some movie. Maybe they finally put out After Hours or whatever, let's just say. Oh, you really want that, Or, Severin puts out, the Christopher Lee box set, and you really want that. So that's the hard part, is like trying to budget what you want, So maybe that's what you do. You just say, look, I'm not buying any other releases except what might be coming out by this label or whatnot. My second thing would be to, if you are going to do like these companies, the boutique companies, is go for stuff that you know is not going to be available. Okay, so let's take an example. Let's say we have a Criterion version of something, and then we have a Severin thing. Now, the Severin set is a limit of 1,500. That's it, and it's done. Criterion, that's going to be there for a while. So, make a list. Say, okay, these are the stuff that's upcoming. This is what I want. This one's a limited one. I'm going to put my efforts towards that. That's what I've found recently that I've been doing, that I know, okay, that set's going to be limited. These sets, these Arrow sets are going to be limited. This Friday the 13th set, eventually they're going to probably go to a standard release. They're not going to get this. So, let me go with something like that. Let me go to, whereas a Criterion, and I love Criterion. I'm not knocking it or anything, but at the same time too, for me, I know 6 months from now, a newer release, let's just say Parasite, because I haven't got that one yet. Parasite's going to be there. Okay? Now, eventually stuff does go out of print with Criterion, but at least I know the newer stuff, I'm not going to have to worry about that. I still have a laundry list of some of the bigger box sets from the Godzilla set, the Ingmar Bergman set, the Fellini set, that I would like, but I put those on the back burner because I know that there are some, limited stuff that are coming out that I'd rather have, the Beastmaster set, this Al Adamson set, which, I was lucky my girlfriend got this for Christmas for me, but in the sense of it was a limited release, some of the Vinegar Syndrome stuff. So it's just kind of how would you like to buy it. So that's kind of, how I see it, just kind of budget, just say, okay, this is what I'm doing. Or I am a person that's just only going to get stuff at Dollar Tree. Okay, so you get the dollar DVDs and that's like your thing. So just pick something that you enjoy, and again, the whole thing with collecting and movies and stuff, it's the enjoyment of something. People say, well, wow, you have so many movies, how are you ever going to watch them all? I'm not going to watch them all. I know that, it would be, I would be here for years watching all these. Years. If I stopped today and watch everything, 20 years probably. Of just watching it consistently. But it's not, it's more of the, here's my collection, here's a library, like, this is kind of cool, just like people collect books. Like, look how cool this is, look at these different releases, look at, oh, hey, like a person comes over and says, oh, I like film noir, oh, here are my film noir, I recommend this movie, or check this out, or, for me, I love sharing my passion, with everybody, with my friends, with YouTube, that is why I made this channel, I just wanted to show what I had to you, just like, people out there show their stuff, and I'm like, that's a cool release, that's cool, I hope I do the same for you guys. So that's kind of, in a nutshell, why I collect, how to collect, and why I do it in 2021. People, like I said before, people are saying, oh, you can get it on Netflix, but you can't. You can't. So do what you like. If you love collecting, European horror films, go ahead. You love getting, all the Alfred Hitchcock movies or all David Lynch movies, go ahead. Do what you want to do. So I hope, everybody has at least enjoyed this video. Comment below, why do you collect? I want to hear everybody's kind of why they do it, what they collect. Are you somebody that just says, I'm just a boutique person, and I just get, the latest Vinegar Syndrome, releases, or the latest Arrow releases? Are you somebody that collects VHSs? Are you just somebody that you just get all, like, the Disney VHSs? Or are you somebody that gets, like, obscure and rare ones, like, I've been doing? Are you somebody that looks like action movies? Comment below. What do you collect? And also put, like, how many you have. It's always cool to see. Just because you have a collection of 150 movies doesn't make it any worse than what I have. Or what somebody else has. Somebody might have 3 times the amount I have. That's cool. Like, that's awesome. Like, that is really cool to see. People have been collecting a long time. I think of someone like Brian Sauer of Just the Disc, both the podcast and for the YouTube channel. Definitely check him out. That and Pure Cinema, they're awesome. Giving a shameless plug right there. But Brian in his YouTube videos just has tons of movies. And, I asked him one time, I said, in the comments, I said, that's awesome. He goes, well, it's only a third of it. And I'm like, that's mind-blowing. Like, to me, that's awesome. But you know what? That doesn't mean, like, oh, wow, man, I got a dinky collection. Or somebody that may have only 50 movies. Oh, well, I can't sit with the, big boys. I can't sit at the table. You can. Because it's a film community. We're all having, you might like something different. Like, I know some people that, like, are like, what the heck are you, what are you watching? Like, oh, you're watching, like, obscure kung fu movies? Like, what? Like, but then they like early 2000s comedies, like Super Troopers and things like that, where I'm like, okay, it's not the best comedies, but that's what they love, and I can't judge them for that. I can't say, oh, I'm going to be a highbrow and, because I like weird stuff, just as much. So, but yeah, comment below, everyone. I'd really like to, see what you guys have and, why you collect and what you collect. So comment below. Well, not next Friday, but this upcoming Friday, I'm going to be doing a video, 2 videos. One with my friend Anthony, who was in some videos. He was in the video in October when we talked about our top 5 or 10 favorite movies, Halloween movies type stuff. He's coming back, so we are going to do a sports movie bracket, just 8 movies that we think that are the best sports movies. So we're going to have his, my video, he's going to come into that, and we're just going to talk in general 8 sports movies. And then he just started a YouTube channel, Tiramisu Sports Guru, where he kind of does a personification of, obnoxious sports, talking heads. So on his, we're going to do like kind of a silly one, where I will be kind of a over characterized, I guess, version of the cinema dude. And we're going to be talking about basketball movies. So his is going to be his video will be basketball stuff, and then mine will be just a regular weekly video. We're going to do the top 8 sports movies, and we're kind of going to do a bracket and stuff like that. So look forward to that on Friday. So it'll be a little one day early this week. But again, thank you everyone for watching. I hope you have enjoyed this video. I hope I can do some more discussion videos. Definitely going to do a lot more Spotlight collection. I'm still in the process of, if you saw this movie room, it's like a bomb exploding here, but just kind of moving stuff around. Hopefully once I get everything done, I want to do a whole new, hopefully like as a year in review thing for me, because I'm coming up on my 1 year of consistently doing these videos, to do a new movie room tour. to kind of show you guys everything like that. But remember to like, comment, and subscribe for more videos. And remember to check me out too on Instagram at the Cinema Dude. And remember, everyone, I hope everyone has a great week. And remember to be kind and rewind. See everybody later.